we welcome you to Dover, Delaware, where we will go for another round here in the Pits News Truck Series. It's going to be a good one here. The Monster Mile, Dover Motor Speedway. Still doesn't sound right to say it, but we are here tonight. I'm Dawson Allen. As always, joining in the booth, Adam Kuhn of JCTV. Adam, welcome.
Evening, Dawson. Excited to once again be joined with you in the booth tonight. We got show for us on store tonight, Monster Mile. Like you said, I think we're going to see a lot of trucks getting bite taken out of them from Miles the Monster.
Indeed, we will. It's going to be a fun race today. Of course, the BSR ITPN News Truck Series Mardon 200 here tonight, where we will find out who can tame the monster. And right now, the fastest in practice is the driver of the number 5 machine. It's Justin Durand.
Yeah, just a moment ago, Justin looked at the top of the board, saw he was up there, and was kind of surprised to see him leading the session. Doesn't really like this racetrack as a driver, not a big fan of it behind the wheel, but like you mentioned, Dawson, top of the board right now. Wonder if that has something to do with the track conditions, though. It's a concrete track, so the temperature, the way the cloud cover, it's changing a lot throughout this practice session. Wonder if that had something to do with it when he laid down his lap time. But nonetheless, hopefully he gets to carry that speed throughout the night.
Yeah, he set his lap time very early on. He was here near the start of the session, along with a few others, and not to mention, too, a lot of practice sessions went up throughout the week. Guys just want to run some extra laps, see if they could do it. Justin Durand was one of the guys that's been running a lot of practice here, and he's running a lot of laps. He's been practicing a lot this race. He is currently running his 73rd lap in this practice session. Of course, we're coming up on a 200-mile race here. And he's already considerably run just about half the distance. 200 laps is the distance tonight, and Durand is currently about to run 75 laps. So he's run a lot of laps, putting out a lot of practice time to see if he can't find out what's going to work for him for this race here tonight. As we look through the field, looking back, about 5th place right there, Michael Krueger in the number 14 truck. You can see him rolling around right now. He is currently scored in the 5th position. He is our defending race winner of this event. He won the race last season at Dover for his 2nd win, and he has not won a race since. On a bit of a skid here, this 14 is. We'll see if he can rebound and make that up. But definitely want to watch out for a very good race last season for him. He was able to take it home after leading 39 laps. Wasn't the dominant truck, but he was able to get things done. Holding off Joseph Lester and Dalton Kelly and Brett Bennett to get the win here last season. And speaking of Brett Bennett, looking a little bit further back, as of right now, practice times, he is currently in 15th, so he is definitely going to have a bit of trouble relearning this track. He said it's got a little confusing. We're trying to get a camera angle that shows that truck there. There he is. There's the 47. Brett Bennett driving here tonight. That Strigley Stats scheme on pit road, and then he gets ran into. I think that was Cameron Caldwell, I believe. What you see there, Brett Bennett on pit road. He is 15th fastest, so definitely going to have some work to do. But if you look up to further ahead, the 2nd fastest truck on the track right now by just 1/1000th of a second slower. That's Dalton Kelly in the 45. He has currently run 27 laps in this practice session. Not as many as we've seen some of our leaders do. But Dalton had a really good performance here last year as well. This 45 truck came home 3rd after leading 10 laps. So definitely will be interesting to see how he can kind of rebound here into this race. Just kind of bouncing through the rest of the field as well. Some other guys that are here tonight for this race. I believe I saw Zach Probst's name. Yes, he is currently third fastest. Led the most laps, or actually no, he led 2 laps last year, finishing 6th. Noah Mayuri was the one who led the most laps, 51 of them. That number 8 truck led last season. And tonight he has reappeared to do another race here in the Pits News Truck Series. Currently 10th fastest on the boards is that number 8 truck. You see just 2 minutes and 36 seconds left in practice. 25 drivers have put down a lap time, so a very, very solid field here for tonight's event at Dover.
Absolutely, it's great to see such a big field size here at this race. I don't think we had a pretty solid field count in this race last season, so it's great to see a pretty good turnout tonight. And like you mentioned, Noah Mayer, he goes for a huge Tokyo drift off turn 4, gonna shut down that lap immediately, of course. No good off the tires there, but he was ran last weekend, made his season debut last weekend in Las Vegas. He was caught up in that big crash in the very beginning of the race and did not finish, of course, after sustaining damage from that. So good to see him back out here tonight.
Yeah, indeed it is. And, like I said, top 5 last season, dominant truck. He won the pole, led the 51 laps, most laps led by any of the drivers in the field. And it'll be interesting to see, though, because the big difference is, we had 21 trucks last season, and a couple of those guys set their fastest laps very early in the goings. Noah Mayuri was one of them that set his fastest lap on lap 3. But after that, everybody else had their fastest laps near the end of the race. So it'll be exciting to see how things shake out and play out as this race progresses here tonight. It's anybody's race, truly. So it'll be fun to watch and fun to keep tabs on to see who can get it done and wind up in victory lane here tonight. And of course, last week's race, Jonathan Parker, 2 in a row. It was his second career win and his second straight win. You can see right there, there's that 81 truck of Jonathan Parker. He is currently sitting 4th in the practice session, 4th fastest lap for this 81 truck. So once again, he's showing a lot of speed, and I'm not shocked. So definitely got to keep eyes on him as a possible championship contender here as the season goes on. He's really kind of blossomed here after that first win. He got that first one at Auto Club, and after that, he's been able to just rock on since winning Las Vegas and showing some speed here in practice tonight.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Rookie driver, but he doesn't race like it. He was in contention at Daytona, Phoenix, Charlotte. That's every race this year that he's competed. Every race this year that he hadn't won in, of course, and he fought for the win against Alonso and Michael Krueger the last 2 weeks. So it's been very, very impressive to see him just show up and dominate the last couple of races and prove himself, frankly. And a lot of us knew he could do it, but he's surprised a lot of people who had no idea who he was.
It's been a pleasure to watch, and now we get ready to go into qualifying. As we get ready to see who's going to take to the track first. A lot of guys looks like they're already starting to show up on the grid. And we'll try to see who is the first to pull off pit road. It looks like maybe the 62 of Zach Probst. Currently on track right now. As you see, he'll navigate through 3 and 4 on his warm-up lap to hit that start-finish line. And it looks like he might have been the second out on track. Justin Duran is currently out turning a lap now as well. Michael Krueger out there as well, currently.
Noah Mayuri, you mentioned Dawson led the most laps in this race last season. He did that from the pole last season.
Obviously, Duran's going to go top immediately, but then he's going to be taken. Looks like Zach Probst is going to have just a slightly slower lap this first go around compared to Durand. Michael Krueger jumps at the top of the boards. As you see the 42, the 30, the 58 crossing the start finish line. Some more drivers coming across to get their laps down. Nick Dwarnick, fastest here on his first go around. Jason Gracias looks like he's slowing up. I don't know if he had a good lap there. I noticed that he slowed up there as we watched Zach Probst come around to take his second lap coming through. It looks like he's going to go just 1/1000 short of the pole. Does Zach Probst. There's Jason Gracias. He must have had an issue because he's not able to put a lap time down yet. Looking ahead, though, it looks like Alonso Chicano is about to put down his first lap, and it looks like maybe Brett Bennett as well is on his first timed lap. You see him sliding out of turn 2 there. It's a little sideways. And that's what it's going to be like tonight. You're going to see a lot of drivers have that issue where they're going to kind of push it there on the exit of the corners. And something you'll see a lot too. This track is very much known as a Monster Mile for the feeling of it pulls you to the wall. It's like an arm reaching out from the walls and pulling you towards them. And you're going to see that a lot tonight, I believe. A lot of these guys, when they kind of run on that exit, they'll kind of push up and might even catch the wall on exit, especially off of turns 3 and 4 here. It's just so tempting to kind of push a little bit higher and to see what you can do. So Brett Bennett completes his qualifying time, puts him 5th on the leaderboards. So a good qualifying lap there for Brett Bennett. Looking out, Andrew Elias is on pit road, but not qualifying. I believe Noah Maori is out on his first lap, getting warmed up, ready to get his first timed lap. A 22.991 puts him 8th fastest so far. Dalton Kelly jumps to 5th. Oh, and you see, just like that, Noah Maori gets a little too hot into turn 2, catches the outside wall, and he's going to slow to a stop here. I believe Dalton Kelly had the same fate. You see how slow he is there off of turn 4. Maybe just practicing getting down onto pit road here. Actually, he is. He has completed his qualifying. Right now, it looks like Matthew Stotts is out making his first timed lap there. That number 17 Vortex Racing entry. See, he catches the wall there too as well. Another driver catching the wall here on exit of 2, so he'll pull it down. And it looks like he will not be getting a lap time. We'll go up to David Duran on his second lap. See him wrap it down the bottom there. He'll get his first timed lap here. It's going to be a 22.991. Another good lap for David Duran, putting him 8th now. He ties it with Noah Maori. So very, very funny there. You see that. You see a 43 of Ethan Francesco Moreno, 5th fastest there. I believe Jonathan Parker is completing his second lap. This time by, it's a 22.888, just barely off of his best lap time. And I see Joshua O'Connor is starting to roll off of pit road, but with 30 seconds left, I don't know if he's going to get a lap down. I see Jared Wilson is out there. Looks like he's going to get his first timed lap here this time by. If he can keep it, he gets it a little loose off of turn 4, but he's able to save it. So right there, he's going to lose a lot of time. A 23.285 will be his lap time for now, but he can try to improve it this time by. You see that side of that truck looks like it's already eaten the wall. But with 1 second left, he's not going to make it. Qualifying is over. You see that 8 car will disappear off the face of the earth, unable to set a second lap. So, with qualifying coming to a close, let's take a look at our starting grid presented by MardonTech.com. Your pole sitter for tonight's race, the number 5, Justin Durand, with a blazing fast lap time, getting him the pole to his outside, the defending race winner, Michael Krueger. Starting back in row 2 is the 62 of Zach Probst and the 81 of Jonathan Parker, who is on a tear with the last 2 wins going to that 81 machine. Back in row 3, it's the number 43 of Ethan Moreno and Jeremy Richmond following him to his outside. Row number 4 sees Dalton Kelly and Brett Bennett, 2 SBLD drivers. And then you'll see rounding out the top 10 in row number 5, it's Aaron Siciliano and David Durand.
Picking up the field in row 6 is Noah Maori starting in 11th. Alongside him is Christian Pacheco in the 88. Then behind them is a pair of teammates from Radius, pair of champions, Alonso Chicano on the inside, and then Cameron Caldwell on the outside of row 7. Behind them is going to be Nick Dornick and Alexander Kerfin in row 8. Jared Wilson in the 83 alongside Josh Copano in the 42. Got Joshua O'Connor in the 59 and Jason Gracias rounding out the top 20 starters.
All the way back in row number 11, the 21, Ryan Bogey, and the 44 of Andrew Elias. In 23rd, in row number 12, is Gary Sack. Following him is Brian Smith. And rounding out your field of 26, it's the 17 of Matthew Stotts and the 40 truck of Brandon Havens. Nobody new making their debut here tonight. Everybody has made a start, one or more, here before this season, as well as in general in the In the Pits News Truck Series. So, Adam, who are you thinking about? Who's going to win this race tonight?
There's a lot of obvious picks. I'll go with someone outside the obvious radar. I'll say I'll go with someone a little starting deeper in the field. I'll go with Jason Gracias. So it's 20th. He hasn't raced trucks a lot. I know I said he was going to pick someone obvious. He's obviously a great driver in this league, but he has not been comfortable with these things. Last time out, he didn't run good. He struggled, but I think he'll have a great performance tonight.
And while you take the one of Jason Gracias, I'll go up further to the front. I think we'll see him back to back. Michael Krueger in the 14. I think he'll get it done. Pace car is in here. Heading into turn number 1. The green flag is out. Justin Duran is going to lead the field to green. See him sideways through 1 and 2 there. Everybody getting kind of ready to compose themselves. 200 laps now. They got to settle in and buckle down and be ready for these corners. You see Gary Sack, it looks like it's very slow already. The 89 truck way further back. Looks like he might have missed the grid starting from the pits. So that's going to cost him a lap already. As you'll see Justin Duran way clear out to the lead of Michael Krueger. But back behind him, you see a hornet's nest forming behind the 47 of Brett Bennett. A long list of trucks. You see Jeremy Richmond trying to battle with Dalton Kelly for the 7th position.
You mentioned that rough start for Gary Sack, but he did the wise decision and just stayed on the bottom, got out of everyone's way, and not made a big issue. He's just going to hope to stay in the lead pack here and get the lucky dog at the stage break, lap 50. Long way to go, but he is in lucky dog position, of course, right now.
Well, with the way they're running here, 26 trucks. He's 26 a lap down, 25 on the lead lap. All it's going to take is one guy slipping up to cause a caution, and he'll be able to get that lucky dog and get back on the lead lap a lot sooner. But right now, that 89 of Gary Sack right here, you see him all the way back here. He is currently the first truck 1 lap down. The next truck that would be lapped is the 44 of Andrew Elias. He has currently scored just 9 seconds behind the race leader. Meanwhile, move to second. Jonathan Parker in the 81 has taken over the 2nd spot, and Michael Krueger drops back to 3rd. And you see that 43 there, that number 43 DoorDash truck back there. That is Ethan Moreno. You see him making a move to the inside, trying to go for the 5th spot on Brett Bennett. It looks like he'll get it. Now he'll set his sights on Michael Krueger just out ahead, but Brett Bennett does not want to give up yet. Right there on the back bumper of the 43.
Yeah, Ethan Fonseca Moreno has only been in the league, I believe, 3 weeks, but each week he's impressed us and shown up with major speed week in, week out. On the drop of the green flag, he dropped a spot, but he's up 2 more, and he's defending race winner Michael Krueger for P3, and he's going for it on the back straightaway.
And he'll bring Brett Bennett in tow. Michael Krueger sliding back early on here. Not liking the handling of that truck so far. Issues already on the start of this race, dropping back to 5th. Now under fire from Zach Probst. Now Dalton Kelly going to take the spot. He will get into 6th position. He will try to battle with Michael Krueger.
Meanwhile, just outside of the shot, we can just see Alonso Chicano in the 10th position. We didn't mention it much in practice and quali, but he didn't have much practice time. He loaded it into the sim. I believe it was with 10 minutes in practice, and he had to scramble to get everything ready to learn the track again, get the setup under him, and just get used to the truck, like I said. And he's been able to move up to the 9th position now, getting past Zach Probst, who has fallen through the field down to 11th.
Yeah, Zach Probst all the way back to 11th, already on a slide back from the 3rd spot where he started. And that's the thing about these trucks. You have to kind of relearn the tracks and kind of just get a feel for them again when you get back into the truck. And for somebody like Alonso Chicano, watching him race and racing with him, he's a fast learner. It doesn't take long for him to pick back up on those things he needs to get that extra edge, and you see it now, already up to the 8th position. But you see Michael Krueger, he's on the opposite side of that. He's our race winner from last season. He's the defending race winner here at this race. Right now, back to 9th after starting in 2nd. Meanwhile, up front, though, Justin Duran is out to a comfortable 2nd lead over 2nd place Jonathan Parker. Ethan Francesca Moreno is in 3rd, so a couple rookies now trying to hunt down the race leader. And Brett Bennett finds himself 4th, with Dalton Kelly rounding out your top 5 as we are 11 laps down here at Dover. Looking right now, the 59. That is, I believe, Joshua O'Connor. He's currently half a track behind the race leader. As they cross the start-finish line there, the race leader coming through 3 and 4. This 59 is a lot slower than our race leader. So definitely going to be a worry if you are Gary Sack with another driver that's close to going a lap down. Back here to the 9th position, that is Christian Pacheco. He's found his way to the 9th position. He's climbing through the field here after the start dropped the green flag. So 13 laps in, finding himself top 10, but he's right outside those stage points. He's up ahead there. Jeremy Richmond is currently holding the last spot that would score stage points in 8th, battling now with Alonso Chicano into 1 and 2. You see that battle going on there, but I'm looking at something else here. Michael Krueger is continuing to slide. Mayori drifting way up the corner there that time, though. So Mayori struggling just as much as Krueger is. Krueger is now back to 15th. Just a continual slide here from this 14 truck. Not like we saw last season. You see the 83 ahead of him. That is Jared Wilson, just got the wall. But this is not like the Michael Krueger we saw last season. He is back to 15th and struggling hard.
And unfortunately, that's been the tale of Michael Krueger's season in general, is he has not performed the same as we saw out of him throughout the summer when he was winning races like this one early on in the summer in Season 2, and he was able to threat for that championship, but he just wasn't at the same, he didn't have the same amount of speed. And when, Dawson, you and I both know he's putting in, if not the same amount of effort, more than he did when he was winning races, and I don't know if it's getting to him yet, but he really wants to win. In every interview and every time we just talk to him in general, he's motivated, and it's just not going the way for him tonight.
Yeah, no, Mikey is definitely not the kind of guy that's going to be, frustrated, like be easy with it. He is pushing every race he runs, and we've seen other leagues, this 14 has dropped into, and he's been able to win. He's run a couple races. I believe the Court Truck Series, one of the more popular, well-known leagues there. He's run a couple of those races, and not only that, he's won a couple of those races. So, it's not like he can't win. It's just he can't put together the runs recently. The second at Auto Club and then the third at Charlotte this season, those were times where he had a good shot. Dominated Charlotte, 81 laps led. And then, an 8th place finish all the way back at Vegas after leading some laps. Everything else, 16th and 19th there from Phoenix and Daytona. So he's just not been able to really put together some runs here throughout the season. You see, again, the 83 hitting the wall once more. And I see Alonso Chicano is now to the outside lane, dropping back some more spots that he had just gained, and loose and sideways right in front of his teammates, Jason Gracias and Cameron Caldwell.
25 has slipped up the track, and once he moved up that lane, he's been all over close quarters there with, I believe that was Cameron Caldwell off of turn 4. It is. He's able to keep that position over his teammate for the time being, as they're double wide behind with Krueger and Kerfin for the 13th position. Oh, Kerfin's going to catch the wall big time off turn 2. He's going to lose that position, and here comes Jared Wilson to his inside.
Ooh, I think Nick Dwornik might have ran Brian Smith wide that time. That's going to cost him a couple spots as well. As you see, they're continuing to battle all over the track. But right now, Justin Durand still about a 1-second gap between he and second place Jonathan Parker. And Jonathan Parker, we talked about it. He's so good. He's been so good this season. It's just been about trying to string together the race to get the finish, to get the win, to which he has done now. He hasn't made many starts this season. He hasn't made many starts at all in this short career. He's still a rookie. He's making some of his first starts, throughout this season. But he's only got 2 wins. So he's definitely showing that he belongs in this league. Um, and he is definitely showing that, he is here to win more than just 2 races. He's going for a championship. And so it's not a surprise. He's been able to run up front every race. His worst finish this season, 11th at Phoenix. So he's definitely been one of the faster trucks this season. And so definitely a dark horse championship favorite.
And in his interviews every week, Dawson, he doesn't feel like he's as good as he wants to be, and he knows he can be better with these trucks. He feels like he's more comfortable in another class of cars in iRacing, and he's new to iRacing in general. So we see a battle for P7 right here with B
Zach
David Duran, excuse me, and Zach Probst. Yeah, Dawson.
Yep. Zach Probst and David Duran. This is for 7th and 8th, the final 2 spots to score stage points, which we're only about halfway into the stage, so this is definitely something to keep an eye on as this run goes on, as now Duran is going to lose the spot to Jason Gracias. So as one Duran leads, the other is currently fighting for the final stage point, as he loses that spot now to Jason Gracias. And of course, Gracias, his name, he needs no introduction. He is a driver that has constantly been able to perform, and he's done very well. Spine around!
Joshua O'Connor is spun, yeah, on the back straightaway. Halfway in the stage.
Halfway point in the stage, eighth the way through. That caution came out relatively slowly, but the driver of the 59 with the back of the truck into the wall. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened, just racing in the background, and then gets hit by Gary Sack. So Gary Sack was involved as well. Both these trucks were a lap down. Gary Sack was now 2 laps down. Of course, on pit road.
Yeah, O'Connor was tail end of the lead lap, and Gary Sack was 1 down when that happened, and there you see Gary on pit road, so he's gone down now more than 2, I believe, Dawson. So Gary was racing for that lucky dog position, was looking for a caution. He just didn't need to be a part of it, as now we see split decision on some of the lead lap trucks on whether or not the pit race leader stays out, but Jonathan Parker tucks down with Ethan Moreno.
Definitely going to be interesting. We're going to have a split strategy, it looks like. It should be interesting to see what happens here. You see it's the 81 Jonathan Parker, the 43 of Fonseca Moreno. There's Michael Krueger down there. I believe that is Jeremy Richmond. A little bit further back, I believe, got a couple more on pit road there, but split decisions for everybody to see where they want to go and what they want to do. But Jonathan Parker, first off pit road, he'll come out 11th. Justin Durand, however, staying out that time by.
Yeah, David Duran, Mikey Krueger were some of the other ones to pit, so it's going to cycle the SBOD guys up to 2nd and 3rd. We got Dalton Kelly and Brett Bennett, 2nd and 3rd, with Zach Probst up to 4th now all of a sudden.
Yeah, and we're going to look and see at the choose cone for today's race. You can see there, that is how they will be choosing in the event. And you see it looks like we're getting ready for our choose here as we'll get to that choose camera. It looks like we're getting ready to see some decisions made on what lane they want to go. Is it this time by? No, indeed it's not. But we'll get a preview look here to see how they're going to decide. You'll see here when we look up above, that's our view. Just flip the image you see, mirror that, and that's what we're looking at right now. You don't want to run over this middle section right here where you see the trucks running right now. You want to go low or you want to go high, and that will be the choose cone for tonight's event. It's just all a matter of preference on what lane you want to run. And so that'll be something to watch here as this race goes on. So, Justin Durand, Dalton Kelly, Brett Bennett, Zach Probst, Jason Grassi is the top 5. Cameron Caldwell, Ryan Bogey, Noah Mayuri, Josh Coppernol. That is the top 9 that did not pit that time. Joshua Parker was first off pit road. Then it was Ethan Fonseca Moreno, Jerry Richmond, Michael Krueger, Nick Dwarnick, Christian Pacheco, Brian Smith, Alonso Chicano, Matthew Stotts, Jared Wilson, David Duran. That's the top 20. Siciliano, Wilias, Kierfin, and Havens, and that is all the cars that are on the lead lap. It actually looks like Havens is a lap down now, so 23 on the lead lap for you, and it looks like we're coming to the choose this time by. So we will get our bird's eye view, and we'll look and see where they go. Looks like Justin Duran's going to go to the bottom, Dalton Kelly to the top, Bennett, Probst, they kind of swap around. Looks like it's kind of going the way it usually would. You see Mayuri goes to the bottom, Coppernol to the bottom. And as the field decides what lane they want to run on this restart, a lot of guys taking the top lane here. See, it looked like maybe the 83 ran over that choose cone. We'll have to see, though, if the eyes in the sky caught it. But right now, Duran takes the inside, Kelly leading the outside. And it should be a 21-lap dash to the stage end. Durand has led every lap this race. Dalton Kelly now to his outside in second. He led some laps last season here. And of course, Brett Bennett had one of his best performances at this track last year. And we'll see what can happen here to the Geico restart zone. The green flag is out. Durand stomps the gas pedal. And away we go back under green here at Dover. Wide just for a second there. Maybe almost 4 wide. They're 3 wide in the corner. Michael Krueger wants to go. He'll get by Josh Coppernol. You can see it looks like the tires are starting to do some work already. But up front, it's still Durand leading. You see Jonathan Parker is up to 7th right now. There's a lot of jockeying for position happening back further back. Laps.
Yeah, sorry, Dawson, but it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to see Ryan Bogey up here in 7th position inside the top 10. We haven't seen him much tonight as we see Jonathan Parker execute that pass to P4 around Brett Bennett. Dicey back here, Jeremy Richmond trying to execute those tires and maybe follow Ryan Bogey throughout the field, but Michael Krueger right there also. A lot of dicing going on here.
Looked like Chicano might have got a little loose into the wall back further back. He got a little loose off the corner, but what I'm looking at right now, Jonathan Parker has made those new tires work. He's up to now 3rd, battling for 2nd with Dalton Kelly, and this might be enough to get him to the race lead. We'll see what happens as he comes. He's hunting down the race leader, Justin Durand. Right there on the back bumper. He's got a run. He's coming to the outside. He's going to have a run to the outside, and he's going to get gone. He is taking the race lead. Jonathan Parker back out front.
A little twitchy to execute it, but it was perfectly there on the outside for the 81. He's going to drive away now on these fresh tires. See how big of a gap he's able to get over Justin Durand before the next guy on fresh tires gets to P2. If they are able to, with just a handful of laps left in the stage. And it's just a clump of trucks behind these guys right now, Dawson.
He's definitely going to try to run away with it. We're looking here. Nick Dwarnick came down pit road that time as well. He is making some moves, trying to get up to the top 8. He is 7th now after a pass on Jason Gracias. And you see they're 3 wide there. Michael Krueger is forcing the issue, trying to get everything he can. He's following along with Jeremy Richmond, but he wants to get around that 98 and see if he can't go for some more. Nick Dwarnick following in tow. So you see there, it looks like the tires are going to pay off at least for the stage. As Jonathan Parker is taking the race lead, Jeremy Richmond is in 3rd, Michael Krueger 4th, Nick Dwarnick is 5th. Brian Smith now slides into the 7th position, battling now with Dalton Kelly, his SBLD teammate. But it's fresh tires that are king here. They made the move, and they are going to work the top 4 now all on fresh tires, and it might be the top 5 as Brian Smith is lurking in the shadows.
Yeah, Justin Duran went from second to fifth in just one corner there. Those guys freight trained around him on those freshies immediately. And you mentioned here comes Brian Smith. Diamonds the corner perfectly as Duran, helpless, just trying to conserve right now and make it to the end of the stage break. P6, he's going to be lucky if he's going to be able to hold on for stage points here. But Ethan Moreno right behind him, it's going to be a tall task.
He's going to get lucky, though, because after that, the next truck on fresh tires, Alex Kierfen, all the way back in 11th. So he's got a bit of a gap until the next guy who made it down pit road that last time. But you see there, it's going to be close for that number 5 truck to hold on. He's going to have to hold on for just about 12, maybe 11 more laps this time by. We'll have to see, but the lap time's obviously a lot better for Alex Kierfen compared to the rest of the field that's ahead of him. But right now, Jonathan Parker trying to scoot away. He's out to a 3-second lead over second place Jeremy Richmond, who is under fire from both Michael Krueger and Nick Dwornik.
Richmond able to extend the gap over Krueger right now as Dornick filling the mirror of the 14 truck. Good to see Nick Dornick back in the saddle this weekend. Ran the first 2 races of the season, sat out the next 3. I know he's in a moving situation right now, a lot on his plate in his own personal life, but on the racetrack tonight behind the wheel, great performance like you mentioned, Dawson, on the fresh tires. Great strategy going on right now for this independent driver right now.
And Nick Dwornik has made starts throughout all 3 seasons. He is a seasoned veteran, I would say, in this league. His best finish in his career came in season 1, running at Auto Club. He finished at 2nd. And he's had 2 other top 5s outside of that, both coming from the first 2 seasons at Bristol and Watkins Glen. Outside of that, he really hasn't been able to get much further up. But he is definitely going to try his best, see if he can't make some better runs here. But I notice now, Alex Kierfen has moved into the 7th position. That leaves Justin Duran in the hot seat. He is the last truck to score stage points, currently scored 8th. He's going to have to just hold off those guys that stayed out with him. That's Zach Probst, Dalton Kelly, and Jason Gracias. But it's going to be a struggle here for the next 6 laps.
Well, it's lucky right now that they are racing side by side behind him. Right there, you see Dalton Kelly and Zach Probst racing for this 9th and 10th spots. They're not racing for points like you mentioned, but they are letting Justin Duran drive away a little bit, and I have to breathe his gap a little bit. You see Jason Garcia has nowhere to go, so he's a little bit infuriated right now seeing this too wide battle in front of him.
Yeah, absolutely. He is not wanting to see them too wide. He wants to try to get going here if he can to try to catch up. You see the 89 of Gary Sack pulling off pit road now. But as a 2-second lead over second place Jeremy Richmond, who's been able to gap Michael Krueger. He's starting to try to chase down Jonathan Parker. He's been running faster laps recently. That last time by, Parker ran a 24.0. Richmond ran a 23.8. So with Richmond knocking the wall down there, so that's going to slow him up just a little bit perhaps as he is trying to catch Jonathan Parker, who's coming to 4 laps to go in the stage, but Jonathan Parker looking to add on to another stage win, I believe. This would be his first of the season, actually.
Just ahead of him, David Durand is on track. He came down pit road with him, with Jonathan Parker, that is, under the caution, so something must have happened on that restart that caught up that 24 truck, maybe damaged him, as we have a caution now, actually.
Caution, you see there, Christian Pacheco is sitting backwards on the track. You're not supposed to be facing that way, but indeed he was. He's going to get it turned around and get it going straight. Caution will fly here once again at Dover, and that will do it for the stage. See if we can get a look at what happened here. Contact with, I believe, the 40 of Brandon Havens, and around goes the 88. Thankfully, that wasn't a next-gen car, or that very well could have spelled the end of the season for Pacheco with a concussion. But with it being the truck, it's a little safer, so he will wind up getting spun back around. 23rd now, a lap down after that incident. But with that, Jonathan Parker He's going to win stage number 1.
Well, he was able to do it last week, Dawson. He got the pole, got the stage, got the race win. Didn't start from pole tonight, but he's already there with the stage win tonight.
Yeah, that should be, I believe, his 3rd stage win of the season, I believe. Let me double check and verify that. It looks like it might very well be stage win 3 for the driver of the 81 truck, as he's won plenty of them. So Jonathan Parker, he will take home the stage win. It's his 3rd stage win of the season for this 81 team, after the one last week at Las Vegas. And he also, actually, I believe it might be 3. I want to say it's 3 with Vegas and I think Charlotte. Those were the 2 I believe he was able to get. So 3 stage wins on the season, already off to a great start. Did we wrong? Let me update your graphic really quick. 4th stage win of the season, actually. He won Daytona, he has won Charlotte, and he won Vegas. So 4 stages of the season. So definitely a lot of power in that 81 truck in the early goings of the races. So as they come down, getting ready to go to pit road, I believe next time by it should be open. What do you say we dial up our stage 1 winner, Adam?
Hey, Jonathan, it's Adam in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Second straight race with a stage win. You were able to munch through the field on the fresh tires. How was it there?
It was good. I'm more concerned that I didn't pick because I was fumbling around with this. I didn't pick. I guess I'll pick him on the green, but yeah, I did that to get track position on some of the people who would stay out there, and I guess I'm about to lose it, but it's all right. Did we get playoff points in this? I don't know. I don't remember the system.
Yeah, that is a playoff point. I was confused there on when I saw the other guys come down and pit. Hopefully you're able to get back through the
Yeah,
field. Um,
yeah, it's just different leagues.
yeah, absolutely. Hopefully,
Yeah, I'll drive through the field.
yeah, and we'll be watching you do it, and it's going to be a long night, but we'll be here to talk to you when you do it.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
So he'll pull to pit road. Jeremy Richmond as well. Fonseca Moreno will as well. So that leaves the field in the hands of Alex Kierfan, who will get to the front. I believe it should be 1 to green this time by, like they were saying.
So,
Let's see.
yeah, Dawson, that happened because the way the stage ended, I believe Jonathan didn't know to pit. When the stage had already ended, he thought he was supposed to take the checkered flag when it had already been called, so that was a little bit of confusion on his end. Unfortunately, that he's going to have to start at the rear of the field again.
Yeah, but like he said, he's not afraid to march back to the field once more. But you see there, Alex Kierfan taking the outside lane. On the choose, Michael Krueger to his inside. Then it's Justin Duran, Brian Smith, and Dalton Kelly. That is the top 5 as they run. Green flag back out. We're back racing here at Dover. Kierfan with a huge jump to get back out front and clear Michael Krueger. So now the 30 truck's going to take some time leading out front.
Justin Duran, the pole sitter tonight, back up to third after the pit stops. He's going to be very aggressive, I think, Dawson. He led the most laps on that stage until that caution split up the field. Here he comes on the inside of Coffin, around him already, and up to the tailgate of Coffin, and Krueger into turn 1.
About to say, Michael Krueger has rebounded and gotten to the race lead now. He's going to be under fire from the 5 of Justin Durand. Here he goes, going to roll to the bottom here, falling right in the tire tracks of that 14. You see Kierfin, excuse me, all the way up top, running it way wide in the corners. But Krueger's able to hold on for now. How about Dalton Kelly up to 3rd? Brian Smith holding on to 4th. And I see Brett Bennett starting to try to make some moves through the field, back in 11th right now. I think it's Cameron Caldwell, Jason Gracias back there in 6th and 7th. So a lot of movement, a lot of drivers marching through the field as much as they can. So we're going to see how this plays out here in the longer run. Of course, they're not going to be able to make it all the way to the end of this race. They're going to have to pit again. As you see Justin Durand out to the inside of Michael Krueger. This is for the race lead. Krueger's going to give it to him. And now Dalton Kelly's going to try to follow behind, but Krueger's going to shut the door on him. He's not going to let him by.
Smith running that really wide line here, trying to get race against Kelly. He's going to make himself vulnerable against Ryan Bogey, who has picked up a couple positions on the restart already, doing a great job here. He had a huge slide off of turn 2 a couple laps ago. Now he's on the inside of Smith and maybe even Krueger, trying to force it down this back straightaway. He's going to still continue to race Smith side by side down the backstretch.
Doing a great job, this 21 is. He's had a great season for his starts he's made, a fantastic run for this driver here. And, we're talking about, Jonathan Parker all the time is the rookie driver that's come in and kind of doing all the good things. Ethan Fonseca Moreno as well. But how about Ryan Bogey? He's put together some really great runs, and, it's like, you can't ignore him. He's done a great job all season when he's run, when he's been able to keep his nose clean, and right now battling for the 4th position, trying to wrestle it away from Brian Smith.
Speaking of Jonathan Poco, he's already gained 9 spots on the restart, up to 13th in just a handful of laps. And I believe he picked up 4 or 5 of them in just the last 2 alone. He's having a good time going through the field right now.
You see there, he got that on 19th there after all that trouble missing pit road and having to come down on the 1 to green. But right now, he's up to 13th. He's definitely trying to march through the field, get as many spots as he can get, and get back up to the race lead. Right now, Justin Durand is currently out front, leading the charge here with Dalton Kelly in 2nd. Justin Durand still hunting for his first career win. Won Rookie of the Year last season, just barely over Michael Krueger. But now his focus is winning a race. He came close to being a champion, just couldn't get there. So now the next goal, trying to get that first race win and get that monkey off his back. Field lies in the hands of Justin Durand as they continue on here to complete lap number 62. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take you on a quick side-by-side break. You won't miss a bit of the action.
Mahindra's the official tractor of Tough, right, Chase?
Yep, that's right, Tony.
This baby's got 4,000 pounds of front-end lift capacity, right?
It sure does.
So who's tougher, kid? Me or you?
You are, Tony. Can you put me down now?
What? You want to go higher? Okay.
I said down, you old goat.
I am the goat.
Mahindra, the official tractor of Tough and Stewart Haas Racing.
Come on, Tony, put me down.
Everyone knows that old NASCAR legend about how drivers, go during a race. So naturally, we were curious.
Kevin, no bathroom break?
Nope, all set.
Hey, Kevin.
What's going on? Excuse me. I mean, those fire suits are made of high-tech fabric.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Looking at the rain. Uh-huh. You guys go on, I'll catch up.
Kyle Busch, welcome to Menards. What can I help you with today?
Well, I've got my shopping list right here.
I need some green treated lumber. I need a brown Mastercraft door. I need red Clearview cabinets and some blue Dutch Boy paint.
Those are M&Ms.
And
At Menards, we carry the world's best selection of home improvement products to help you complete your next project.
you've got more of these, right?
It's all gonna fit in your car?
I got a trunk.
Save big money at Menards.
How'd they get here? How should I know? T-Rex and Truex? I don't think so. I may not know how to travel back in time, but my crew knows what to do. When I wanna fly, crank around the wedge in the left rear. You're only turning 9,000, need another gear. Never know how. Never know how.
We welcome you back. Looks like we are under caution once again, and it's the 43 of Ethan Fonseca Moreno. The 43 car, 43 truck with issues here. Gonna bring out the caution for the third time this race. Looks like some battling with Zach Probst, and a little contact gets him turned, and around goes the 62 and the 43. Battling for position, the caution flag flies. Oh! And the 40 of Braden Havens just...
Yeah, way after the crash, destroyed what was left of the 62. If 62 wasn't enough from that big impact to the inside wall, that might have finished the job. You can't really see, and there was a truck just laying in the middle of the track. But surprised to see the 40 going that fast. We saw Andrew Elias and the truck get stopped on the flat right next to Havens sooner. So a little bit split decision there on how to get around the incident, Dawson.
Definitely a split decision, and I see another split decision happening right now. Pit stops for some drivers coming on to pit lane. We're going to get to that camera and see who all's coming off of pit road. Of course, Probst is going to be on pit road. Let's see, Jeremy Richmond is back there on pit road. Looks like Brett Bennett. I believe that's David Duran rolling off pit road right now. That is the 06 of Aaron Siciliano. There's Andrew Elias coming off pit road as well. I think further back it's Alex Kierfin. I see Richmond pulling off there as well. So definitely split decisions here. Some guys pitting here with about 130 laps to go this next time. So it's definitely a call to make. It's definitely one you can make, and we'll see how that plays out for them, because they're still probably going to have to pit at least one more time. Should be coming up to 1 to green, getting ready for the choose cone, I believe. Indeed we are, you see. Actually, indeed, we're not coming to the choose this time. You see the field flying by here down the front straightaway. Looks like right now we're showing 22 trucks on the lead lap. The last truck on the lead lap right now is the 43. He's been able to get some of that damage repaired and is back rolling here. 22 on the lead lap. With the 5 of Justin Duran leading, Dalton Kelly is second. Ryan Smith still third. Ryan Bogey fourth. That 45 is coming and going relatively quickly here. He's in, then he's out, then he's in, then he's out. Not sure what's going on with that 45, but he's here, then he's not. Ryan Smith laying back, giving him some space, but see that 45 is just all over the place right now. A lot of issues going on. Looks like connectivity-wise for Dalton Kelly.
Well, real quick, Dawson, before we go back to green, let's hear from Zach Probst, who's been already released from the infield care center from this caution. Hey, Zach, we saw the incident on the front straightaway and into turn 1. Real quick, what happened from your point of view?
I was letting guys go on the inside because they were sending it every lap. And then I got up into the wall because he pushed me up. And then on the straightaway, he just finished me off, right hooked me straight into the inside wall.
And then going into turn 1, you got hit again from the 40 truck. Not the way Knight was shaping up to go. Of course, you had such great speed early on. What did you need to get up more in front of the field more?
I was honestly just sitting in the back trying to save tires for most of that run, and then when guys started sending it in, I started to back off a little bit more, and then just happened to be in wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, that's for sure. Real quick before we go back to green, now that you're not out there, who'd you like to thank for a great performance this far? Excuse me.
I'd like to thank my teammate Noah Mayuri. He showed up tonight, and he helped me out with strategy for tonight. Didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but I think it would have if we went all the way.
I think it's good, Zach.
Thank you.
Zach Probst started the 62 involved in that incident there on lap number 68. Meanwhile, though, green flag is back underway. And just like that, Duran with a good jump, getting back clear to the front, going to the lead once more as they continue to battle. Back behind for, it looks like third between Ryan Bogey and Brian Smith. Jonathan Parker, he's back in the top 10, back up to 9th, fighting there now. It looks like Cameron Caldwell's to the inside. Just ahead of him there is the 83 of Jared Wilson. That 83 has found the wall multiple times throughout the night. You can see it on the right side, so definitely want to be careful riding behind him as they come through 3 and 4. But it's Durant still leading the field here.
Dalton Kelly's not letting him run away either. Dalton Kelly's staying just 2 tenths now, closing. Huge run off of turn 2, shaping up the rear end of the 5 truck. 3 wide back here. You mentioned Jared Wilson with the right side of his truck. Maybe got on the wall again. They were 3 wide down the backstretch, Dawson, and he has been shuffled out of the pack.
Yeah, he hit the wall again, that time for good, putting him from a top 10 run back to 12th under fire from Jeremy Richmond for the 12th position. Meanwhile, up front, it's Justin Duran still leading. Dalton Kelly is right there in his tire tracks, hunting him down for the race lead. How about Ryan Bogey up to 3rd? Jason Gracias now makes the move on Brian Smith up to the 4th position with Alonso Chicano in tow. And we mentioned it, at 25, just needed a few laps to get a guy going and get ready, get back adjusted to the track. And that's what he's done now, cracking the top 10, looking to crack the top 5.
Gracias-Smith battle was a very unlikely battle, Dawson, but they have been going at it since before that last caution, and then it continues into this restart, carried on the opening lap. Gracias dived it in there on Smith, sent Smith towards the wall, and they continue to do it, stacking up the field behind him. Here comes Chicano trying to send it on the inside of the 1 truck now. Can't do it. He's going to continue to fight Brian Smith on the inside. This is just the battle for P4 right now. Now 5th with Chicano blocking Jonathan Parker.
Parker right there. How about Brett Bennett catching back up to the field? He's back up near this, and he's right there behind his teammate Brian Smith. There's Michael Krueger, Jeremy Richmond. How about Andrew Elias now making his move to the field, going for a top 10 spot?
Noah Mayuri right there tail end of this pack too, with Cameron Caldwell trying to get in this fight. But you see Gracias now trying to pull away from those guys now that he's gotten clear of Smith.
Kelly's running a bit slower than Justin Duran throughout these runs here. But right now, the battle is heating up still further back. Brian Smith continuing to drop spots as now Jonathan Parker's to his inside with Jeremy Richmond and Andrew Elias behind as well, looking for that top 10. You see there to the inside, Richmond now going to try to make a move on Jonathan Parker as well as Parker slides up the track. Here comes Richmond now going to 7th.
I don't know if this is a bad sign or what with all 3 of the yellow trucks nose to tail right there. But we got Michael Krueger trying to spoil that pody. Got his front bumper almost to the back of Brian Smith there. You mentioned falling through the field, was 4th a couple laps ago, now to 10th. And continuing to hold up guys just a little bit. It just, once you heat up the tires a little bit, he was stuck on the outside lane for a long time, Dawson. Probably aggravated the tires and it just made them overheated. Now he's struggling. see Andrew Elias trying to get to the inside of Jeremy Richmond here, who's fighting Lonzo Chicano for P6.
Looking at it right here, Elias came down pit road that time. Somebody else that came down pit road is making moves. Brett Bennett, he's up to the 4th position now on the back bumper of Ryan Bogey, going for 3rd. He and Elias both pit under that caution and took some tires. They're going to try to march through the field, almost like we saw Jonathan Parker do in the stage, to get to that front, to get that position on track. And that could play a big factor because this track is very much a position-based track. You want to have a good position when you come down to pit, or when you come down and get service done, or when you get a caution even. So right now, Bennett's got the track position he wants as he gets up to 2nd now. With Elias not too far behind in tow, he is currently fighting for 6th, and he'll pass Jason Gracias for that spot.
Great move for Bennett right there. Meanwhile, back to Brian Smith. He got the wall off of turn 4 a couple laps ago, lost that 10th position, and he is continuing to struggle on his old tires. There you see him just ahead of David Duran now, continuing to stack up these guys on the fresher set of tires. Just he and Noah Mayuri are the only ones back here on the same set, and we saw Mayuri struggle just a couple laps ago himself.
Duran still leading. But now he's got pressure coming. Bennett and Richmond and Elias, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They all pit under that last caution. They have fresher tires by about 20 laps compared to Duran. Duran last pit 36 laps ago. Bennett, Richmond, and Elias 17 laps ago. So they're all fresher tires. You see Brett Bennett trying to make the move. He's going to try to roll the outside, try to roll a crossover if he can. Going to get to the bottom here on exit. Can he make the move stick? He's now going to be side by side with Duran for the race lead. And how about this? Brett Bennett's going to go for the race lead. Richmond following behind him. Brett Bennett is doing everything he can to try to stay in front. It's going to be a fight, though, as right now he has currently got 32 starts in the league. Brett Bennett has run since the first season. And now he looks to snap that long winless streak. If he can do so tonight, it would be monumental. But he's got pressure from Jeremy Richmond, who's sliding up underneath him right now. He's got a battle on his hands, but you see there, this 47 truck is going to do everything he can to try to get to victory lane as he gets to the race lead. Can he hold off this hard-charging 98 of Jeremy Richmond?
Richmond putting up the pressure big time on that inside lane. I was surprised to see Brett give up that inside lane, and it's going to allow Richmond to clear for the lead in turn 1 and 2. He's going to cross him over.
He tried the crossover, couldn't get it there, and that allows the 98 to take the race lead. Jeremy Richmond now out front here at Dover.
You mentioned winless drivers. The entire top 4 right now, Dawson, are winless in the league, and Dalton Kelly, being the only winner, has 1 career win, and that was Martinsville in the playoffs, the chase last season towards the end of the run.
Still over 100 laps before this one is over. A long ways to settle this. So it's not like, you know, this is the end-all be-all move that will make or break the race. But you see here, Jeremy Richmond out front leading. And how about this? Looking further back. Round of applause. Christian Pacheco. He is up to 9th right now. He was the cause of our most recent caution. Spun around backward, or 2 cautions ago, I should say. Spun around backwards on the track, facing the wrong way. He's had a nice recovery now, up to the 9th position, now battling with Ryan Bogey for what would be 8th. Looking up here, Jason Gracias trying to make a move on Dalton Kelly. That is for 5th. If Gracias can get it, but he is still behind that number 45 truck. Of course, Gracias, Kelly, and Duran have all won. Duran, of course, getting his first career win at Daytona earlier this season to open Season 3. But like you mentioned, the top 4, winless. here in the Pits News Truck Series, and they're looking to change that here today.
Well, right now, Dawson, I think Jeremy Richmond is on a little bit of a mission statement. He has had a rough go the last couple weeks. He was one of the victims of that big crash in the opening last weekend in Las Vegas. And before that, at California 2 weekends ago, he was the subject of a very controversial crash. Um, I'll leave it at that, I guess. He gave us a pretty good interview, though, after it. Explained his side of the view, and a lot of drivers did not agree with it. And he was the point leader at the time of that incident, and he is plummeted through the standings down to sixth right now after the back-to-back DNFs. So he's in the hot seat to maybe even lose a position in the chase right now, as it stands if he continues to fall throughout the field, of course. But leading, that's going to change that, of course, Dawson, and continue to keep up the momentum he started the season with.
Yeah, definitely looking to keep up that momentum. You know, the first 3 races of the season, a fourth place finish, at Daytona, then a 12th at Phoenix, and then another 4th place finish at Charlotte. Looked like he was on track to having a good run to continue. Then, of course, that you aforementioned incident at Auto Club, and then a 22nd place at Las Vegas. So he's kind of, I wouldn't say he's been his own worst enemy, but he has not done any favors for himself with some of his incidences. I see Dalton Kelly dropping a couple spots there. He drops 2 spots there to Pacheco and Gracias. Doesn't look like he got the wall. He might have just drifted up in the corner, let him by, but it also could be some tire wear issues. As you see, they're going on lap 50 for some of these drivers compared to the others that pit that last time by, who are only coming up on about lap 30. When we cross the stripe this time, it will be 100 laps down, 100 laps to go. We've hit the halfway point here in the Mardon 200 at Dover, and I notice, looks like we got somebody coming down pit road. Indeed we do. Andrew Elias is going to pull it down pit road. Looking like he's going to go for a 2-stop strategy. He's usually one that kind of throws those curveball strategies out there. So we'll see what this 44 can do. It looks like he brought somebody with him. I believe that's Cameron Caldwell. So Cameron Caldwell joins Andrew Elias on pit road. Looks like some more dropping back some spots. Justin Durand is on pit road. I believe Dalton Kelly followed him. So that's 2 more. It looks like the pit cycle is going to start up here. So Jeremy Richmond leading the way. And the thing I'm watching, that pit road is tricky to get to.
Absolutely. We had Alexander Kurfin go into the barrels last season. I believe Tyler Watermelon did the same thing in this race.
You see there, Alonso Chicano missed pit road. He was trying to get down there, slid it down, almost clobbered pit entry wall there, but he was able to miss it, but he's going to lose a lot of time from that mistake. Brian Smith made it to pit road. Kind of watching to see if anybody else tries to make the dive bomb down to slow it up to get to pit road. As of right now, not seeing anybody else, but Alonso Chicano is going to try again this time. A very tricky pit road to get down onto, but this time Chicano is able to successfully navigate to pit road. As we go back up to the race leader, Jeremy Richmond, he continues to lead, still staying out. I wonder if we're going to see more of these guys that are on the older tires coming down. You see the one of Jason Gracias now battling here with some other trucks, That's Christian Pacheco in 4th. That is the 43 of Ethan Moreno, he is currently scored 4 laps down, and that's Cameron Caldwell, who just pit going by as well. But I expect to see him at least in soon enough. We'll have to see. We're watching the rest of these trucks. You see Brett Bennett running really wide here in turn number 4. Looking to see if anybody else is going to maybe slow it up here. I believe we see Michael Krueger. He's on pit road now.
It's the most chaotic part of a race, Dawson. This stint where you have so many different tire strategies going on, like this right here, like we just saw with the Durands, of course, and then Andrew Elias flying right by. It's just a whole mess of different trucks on different strategies. You don't really know who's on what tire and who's got this, who's on what lap. Of course, it's just a whole mess of everyone everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of chaos. And you see there, Brett Bennett getting passed by Cameron Caldwell, who came down pit road not too long ago. So we wait to see when our race leaders elect to come down and pit, but I think they're going to try to stretch a little bit further, see how long they can go without stopping, because there's no reason to stop immediately right now. They have plenty of time. I see it looks like the 06, currently in 10th place. Aaron Siciliano comes down pit road, so should have about 10 or 9 trucks that have yet to come down pit road. But the difference in time, 24.8, 25-second times are what the leaders are running compared to these fresh tires that are running, 23 9s, 23 7s, 23 6s, 23 4 that time for Elias. So much faster, almost 2 seconds faster than the race leaders as they continue to navigate this track to see who may come down pit road this next time by. I'm looking to see, but nobody's slowing up just yet. There we go. We got somebody coming now. I think the 88 was trying, but he's not going to be able to. He's got Jason Gracias and Michael Krueger and Brian Smith right there with him. It looked like he was slowing. I don't know if that was trying to come to pit road or if that was just slowing because he was just that much slower than the rest of the guys that were coming. So Richmond continuing to stretch. Bennett as well, still staying out on the track. At 88, still in the swarm right now as he's got Gracias and Smith behind him. He's trying to get out of their, well, I would say he's trying to get out of their way. It looks like right now he's holding that line that they want to run. And that's not going to be good for the 54 or the 1. They don't want to be stuck behind him for too long, especially when they're on newer tires. They're fighting like crazy to get by him, and you see there Smith is able to do so, and Gracias looks to follow suit. Right now they are scored as 5th. Or at least Gracias is scored as 5th. Brian Smith looks like he's a little bit further back. Maybe stuck a lap down. Indeed, he's 2 laps down. Gracias is on the lead lap. He's still staying out here. So that's where that is. Looks like Noah Maori has finally come down pit road to get some service as well. But Jeremy Richmond has stayed out. Brett Bennett, David Duran, and then Christian Pacheco and Jason Gracias, the top 5, making top 6, 7, 8. Top 8 so far. All have yet to pit. So it looks like we might have some difference in strategy. Some guys going for 2 stops. Somebody's maybe going for 1 stop to see if it pays off. But we saw this kind of strategy play out. I believe it was sometime earlier this week, and I'm kind of drawing a blank here on JCTV. We had a race that came down to strategy, 2 stops versus 1 stop. What would work? And in the end, it was the 1 stops that would work. I want to say it was this previous Wednesday night when we had host to the Juggernaut Truck Series. It was a battle of strategy calls between, what, pit cycle you want to pit. Do you want to go 2 stops or 1 stop? And we saw 2 stops, were not enough to get by the 1 stops. So it's definitely a call to see, how far you can make it, how long you can make it. But you see right there, there's the 14. That's Michael Krueger, currently 14th. As he runs, looking to unlap himself here from one of his laps to go just 1 lap down to the race leader, Jeremy Richmond.
Yeah, and of course, with this being a shorter track, you lose, depending on where you are to the leader when you pit, either 1 or 2 laps, and depending on the way the strategy is here, and wow, see how tight Krueger ran Richmond there, and the way the cycle.
Caution is out!
And that's not what Krueger wanted. But it came out at a good time for him.
Oh, it's the 88. It looks like Christian Pacheco is around. I believe Andrew Elias got stopped, I would say, there. But that is a huge, huge caution.
Absolutely. Traps a ton of people laps down, if not 1 or 2 or 3 laps down. More, and we saw Pacheco was in that huge swarm of trucks, and this is where it all spawned from, to begin with racing Jason Gracias.
Oh, and Jonathan Parker was involved. Nick Dwornik got a piece of it. Looks like Elias, you see there, on the brakes, getting it stopped to get out of the way. But once again, this 88 truck winds up turned, and the caution flies. And the big thing about this is, guys like Justin Duran, Dalton Kelly, Cameron Caldwell, Andrew Elias, and Michael Krueger, they'll get back on the lead lap. But Brian Smith, Alonzo Chicano, Aaron Siciliano, Noah Maori, Jared Wilson, Ryan Bogey, they were scored 2 laps down at the time of that caution. So that is going to be grave for them to try to dig out of that hole, as it's now coming to lap 118. So some of those trucks can get their laps back and be back on the lead lap, but a lot of guys are going to be trapped still a lap down. So definitely a disaster for some of the field, and even more so, I believe that is Josh Coppernoll of JCTV staying out, not pitting that time. I think he wants to go for a lap lead and drop a point into his bucket. You see there, stats for our very own from JCTV, Josh Coppernoll, leading the field here as of right now. He didn't pit, but that's probably the only reason why he's staying out, to get that extra bonus point for leading a lap before pulling it down pit road to get his tires. Of course, 69 laps since he last came down pit road. Definitely gonna pull it down this time. Just wanted to get an extra point if he could. So looks like Jeremy Richmond beat Brett Bennett, Justin Duran, Jason Gracias off pit road. David Duran wound up 5th off. Then it was Alex Kierfin. And then Jonathan Parker, I believe, is currently 8th, getting some damage repaired. You see, there goes the 42. And so that will hand the lead back to Jeremy Richmond. Next time by, there will be a lot of trucks going by the pace truck to get their lap back, as we'll get up to the front here. See just how many behind right now.
Yeah, right here, Ethan Moreno 3 laps down, so he's going to gain another there. Of course, involved in an earlier caution, so he's going to be a beneficiary of that, leading this field right now under this caution. Alonso Chicano right there behind him. He is scored 1 lap down, so he's going to be back on the lead lap from this, I believe, Dawson.
No, he will not. That's what I was saying.
No, he's not. He's already ahead of the race leader. Yeah,
ahead of the race leader because of that. He is going to be scored a lap down because he was 2 laps down at the time of the caution. So that's what that was. That's what that's going to result in. And so that's what we're going to see. So when we go to this choose camera here, you see the field coming through 3 and 4. You see the 59, the 89, Joshua O'Connor, Gary Sack on pit road, still in their pit stalls. Gary Sack rolling off, as is Joshua O'Connor. They are currently 3 laps down and 23 laps down respective. And you'll see this time when the pace truck comes by, the lights will go out, and you'll see a ton of trucks go flying by. Going to try to catch back up around the field to get their lap back, or at least get a lap back. Choosing for them, kind of pointless since they're not on the lead lap. But you'll see back here, Jeremy Richmond's going to lead the charge. He'll go to the inside, Bennett to the outside. Gracias in, David out. Kierfin in, Durand in, Coppernoll in, and I saw the 81 of Jonathan Parker on pit road. But you'll see a bunch of trucks. You see them flying around now. They're going to come around and catch back up to the field and get either their lap back or go 1 lap down instead of 2. So an untimely caution traps some of the field a lap down here with 80 laps to go at the green. It'll be interesting. Some of these guys might try to stretch it here. Some of these guys are going to play some strategy and maybe make one last pit stop and make one last charge at it and see if it works. But it all depends on if another caution falls at the right time for them. Jeremy Richmond, Brett Bennett, Jason Gracias, David Duran, Alex Kierfin. That is the top 5 as they come through to the Geico restart zone. You see that outside lane? It's barren. 2 trucks chose the outside lane. Everybody else waving around, going to the bottom. Into the Geico restart zone. Jeremy Richmond is going to lead him back to green. Ooh, an aggressive, I don't know if that was wheel spin or what, but shooting up to the outside lane, that may not be looked upon favorably. Could be considered a lane change before the line. It depends on what they'll rule, but there you go. Brett Bennett is going to jump to the race lead.
And an impressive restart from David Duran to follow him to go to P2.
Richmond is drifting up the track. Issues for the 98. Did he not take tires that pit stop?
Jason Gracias was able to get around them, though, and here comes Justin Duran, make quick work around him. So is Alex Kierfin. He's going to slot in line just ahead of Josh Coppernoll and Dalton Kelly.
I got to wonder if that 98 didn't take tires. It looked like the tires spun on the restart, and it looked like he might have had issues. I couldn't tell fully, but you see now, battle for the lead. How about this? David Duran to the inside of Brett Bennett going for the lead.
He used to have had their share of run-ins across all 3 seasons in this league, I believe, Dawson, and they're going out for the lead right now. Who would have thunk it at Dover?
Yeah, Dover of all places. Brett Bennett, of course, he's got race-winning pace, and he is going to tell you about that every single race you go to. But right now, he's going to have to settle for second speed pace, because here comes David Duran to the race lead.
What a move David Duran set up there in the middle of 3 and 4 to execute that pass midway down the front straightaway. And he's going to try and tuck that 47 in his mirror for now. But Brett Bennett's going to continue to race it down in the corner deep.
I got to think Jeremy Richmond made some kind of decision on the tires to not take him, or only took 2, because he has dropped back to 10th and is still under fire for more drivers as they keep going. But right now, we saw the start of the race. It was Justin Duran. Now, after the halfway point, David Duran is going to take some time out front to lead the field here. Brett Bennett still right there in second. Justin now into third, right into view. So we might get the elusive 1-2 Duran. It's coming close as Justin is in third, going for second on Brett Bennett. Lot of battles all over the track. Everybody going for everything they can. But right now, it looks like Jeremy Richmond is the last truck on the lead lap. He has fallen off a cliff. Currently scored in the 13th position. Last truck on the lead lap. Just not a good run now for this 98 after what might have been a strategy call to not take tires. I mean, he may be planning on coming down the pit road one final time.
I think it's got to be something, Dawson, because his lap times are not even close of those of the next the next truck on the lead lap, Christian Pacheco. You saw just ahead of him, the 88 truck. He was not even close on the same speed. So we see this battle for second back, heating up. Justin Duran on the inside of Brett Bennett. Can he make it stick this time? Not able to make it work so far, though. Dead even at the finish line that time. By into turn 1. Justin with the advantage. Brett's going to tuck in line.
Start the applause. The joke has been made. Duran, 1-2. But that's how they finished at Daytona, with Justin pushing David. But will David repay the favor and allow his brother by?
Last season it was Michael Krueger who got the win at Daytona and Dover. David's trying to do the same thing, win Daytona and Dover. But I think it's going to be Justin's advantage tonight. We mentioned it earlier, Polster to Justin Duran dominated the opening stage until the caution. We had that split decision, led a bunch of laps until more split decisions on caution, and he's just been on the back foot since then, Dawson, trying to get back out in front. Now he's just riding around right behind his brother, like you mentioned.
I think he's content to ride it out for a little bit here, but I know he wants to go back to the race lead. He wants to lead some more laps, and there he goes to the inside. Here comes Justin Duran to the inside of brother David, going for the race lead. Still side by side, heading into 1 and 2. Justin on the inside, David on the outside. There's a lapper up ahead. That's Nick Dwornik. He's going to roll the top, and that's going to give the advantage. He gets the wall ahead of the race leaders. David Duran has to get out of it, and Justin Duran shoots to the race lead. Brett Bennett back to second. Now going to be under fire from Jason Gracias.
Huge advantage for Jason Gracias through all that mess. David Duran, big loser, but he's not out of it. He almost thought about making it 3 wide there through the front straightaway. Gracias up to P2. But Brett Bennett going to try and fight on the outside. No, he can't do it there. He's going to tuck in line with David right on his tailgate. Alex Kerfin skating all over the place. He's been in 5th.
And one truck stands out like a sore thumb. That's at 47. That red, green, and yellow Wrigley Stats scheme. Of course, sponsorship from Joseph Srigley, TobyChristie.com. But you see up ahead, Justin Duran is checked out from this battle. Once he got clear, he went away. I see a little bit of smoke there. Might have been somebody coming to pit road. I'd say it's probably Nick Dwornik. It looks like he is officially out of the race. Currently scored 23rd. May change if Gary Sack goes back out. Continue to put some laps down. And maybe get that position, but there you go. David Duran getting by Brett Bennett now for 4th. It'll be between Bennett and Kierfen.
Yeah, I'm not so sure what happened to Nick Dornick's race. He was the first truck 1 lap down when this restart happened, when the wave around happened, excuse me. And by the time the lap trucks had waved back around, he was to the tail of the field, not caught up at all. I'm not sure if he maybe lost the truck on cold tires trying to catch back on the wave by or what, but and then we saw his truck, of course, in the wall when the leaders caught him. So the night from bad to worse quickly for that 58 machine in just a matter of laps.
Well, he was involved in that last accident with some pretty good front-end damage after contact with the 88, so it wouldn't surprise me if something went in that truck and he was down on power and then finally just, not able to hold on to it and finally lost it. But right now, looking and seeing, Jason Gracias up to 2nd. I think it's the highest he's been all night tonight. And now he is going to hunt down Justin Duran for the race lead. He has been doing so perfectly. He's been running faster the past couple laps, so he is hungry for another win. Gracias wants to get to victory lane. He's going to do everything in his power to do so. He is absolutely on a roll as of right now to see if he can't catch up and go for this. This will be his 4th win of his career. If he is able to come out on top of this race. Of course, his last win coming in July of this year when he won Phoenix in Season 2. That's in the lap car there. That's Gary Sack III. Currently scored 24th, like we said. He's got a chance to maybe turn some more laps and try to get up to 23rd with Nick Dwornik being out. Just 13 laps he's got to complete to get by that 58 machine. But there you see, closer and closer in the mirror. You can start playing the Jaws music all you want. Jason Gracias is closing the gap.
We've got development with Brian Smith. He's also, I believe, out of the race. He's gone 9 laps down now this time by. But you mentioned it, yeah. Jason Gracias got 3 wins in his career already. Not a full-time driver in this league, and thankfully, a lot of drivers are saying thankfully to that because he is just an anomaly when it comes to a driver behind the wheel on iRacing. He is so fast. Every time we see him show up, I mentioned top of the show, he was off pace in his last start because he's not a big fan of these trucks. He doesn't get a lot of seat time in them. I believe the only time he really gets to race these is in this league, so wasn't up to snuff last time out in his season debut, but up to speed tonight. I'd say Dawson, he's trying to hound teammate Justin Duran for this race lead right now.
Oh, absolutely. And you look at the stats what Gracias has done. His 3 wins have come at Phoenix, Iowa, and Richmond. All in dominating fashion. This one truck shows up the tracks and just dominates. He's a very good short track racer, and it's also translated over to a good run at Phoenix, where he was able to win despite the incident early on. But you see now, here he goes. He's going to set up a move. You see Richmond pitting that time right in front of the leaders. And here we go, the battle for the lead heating up. Jason Gracias has caught Justin Duran and is going to look to take the race lead away.
Gracias has been stuck to that bottom all race long, and with the unfortunate timing of Richmond pitting there, kind of had to force Justin to slide up the track to allow Richmond to give room, and Jason didn't have to do that since Richmond was out of the way by the time he got into that point in the corner, and it just allowed more advantage for Gracias through that corner. He wasn't able to take it, of course, down the front stretch, but he's right there just a tenth behind Justin Duran into turn 1, just fighting that truck right there. We see the dirty air affecting him, skating up the track.
56 laps to go, going to be 55 this time by. Gracias all over the back bumper of Justin Duran, doing anything in his power to go for the race lead. He has yet to lead tonight, and he wants to change that in the late stages of this race. It's taken him this long, but he is here, and he's knocking on the door. You see Richmond pulling off of pit road. That might cause an issue for the race leaders. Indeed it will. They'll have to go a higher line. Gracias can go a little lower. He's going to try to send it in on Duran if he can get there. He's right there on the tailgate, but he can't quite make the move stick. He'll slide sideways, but look at the momentum he's able to carry side by side for the race lead to the inside. And Duran holding strong on the outside. An incredible move by Gracias, but all for naught as Duran is able to hold on. Another truck on pit road, Andrew Elias. So I'm wondering if some of these guys that are trying that stop strategy here are going to split this run half and half if they can. We'll have to see how it shakes out for them. But right now, Justin Duran holding strong against Jason Gracias, doing everything in his power to hold off this one truck.
It was a huge sun right there into turn 3 from Gracias, and it wasn't able to make it stick. But he is a little bit closer off turn 4 than he was last time, I believe, to that 5 machine. And you see he's just continued to run such a low lane on the entrance to the corner, but then the truck just shoots straight up the racetrack into the wake of the duty of the 5. And Justin Duran not having the most comfortable time right there. You saw him twitch loose on the exit of turn 2. Won't be surprised to see him do it again off of turn 4. Now his truck much smoother here, but you see them catching a bunch of lap trucks. I believe the next one is Ryan Bogey, just ahead of him, 3 or 4 trucks in line ahead of him.
Something I'm noticing with Jason Gracias, he's kind of diming the corner almost. He's doing the Josh Berry, where he enters it low, lets it arc a little bit in the corner, and then cuts it back down on exit. I've noticed that a couple times. See, the lappers are going to pull down pit road to get out of the way. That's a way to get out of the way of the race leaders, but it's still a battle. 50 laps to go this time by. Gracias still hounding Duran for the race lead.
And they are pulling away from David Duran. Meanwhile, this fierce battle just staying right there, hanging on each other as fast as you can possibly push it, continue to gap the field.
Yeah, putting time between David Durand, the elder brother of Justin Durand. David scoring his first career win at Daytona to open the season, so Justin's looking to score his first here at Dover. You know, Michael Krueger won Daytona and Dover last season, so I guess you can classify it as the same with both Durands. You know, a Durand winning Daytona and Dover it works the same. So looking back to see how Elias's decision has gone to make this pit stop, he is currently 2 laps down. He is now entering turns 1 and 2. Going to have to try to fly through the field rapidly, and he's going to have to bank on other drivers pitting as well, because right now this strategy just is not going to pay off. With 2 laps down this late in the race, it may very well trap him 2 laps down if we get a caution and end his run that he was having. He was having a pretty good run thus far, but this decision, this pit stop, this strategy may not be the best call, but we'll have to see, obviously, as this shakes out. If everybody else decides to start pitting as well, Elias may be a genius. We'll have to see. Up ahead, you see another lapper. That's the 88 of Christian Pacheco. He is currently 11th. He is last on the lead lap in 11th. Noticing not too far ahead either, Cameron Caldwell, 15 seconds back of the race lead. As you see the 88 diving down low, going to head to pit road there, or at the very least heading down on the apron to get out of the way for the race leaders. Still a fierce battle. Gracias is still right there. They're still running near identical lap times. Just a 10th difference that time. Gracias was faster. Another driver on pit road. Jonathan Parker, the 81, is going to pull down. And I see Jason Gracias as well.
Yep.
Gracias is going to do it as well. He's going to split this race, the rest of this race at least, in 2 if it goes green the rest of the way. But that's the big thing. They're banking on this going green the whole rest of the way. We'll have to see how this shakes up the strategy with Justin Duran now out to a 3-second lead over brother David. Brett Bennett is out there in 3rd. I can imagine we're going to see some more guys come down pit road here soon. Here comes Justin Duran. Race leader coming down pit road. Looks like David's going to stay out along with Brett Bennett and Alex Kerfin. They're going to stay out for now. And Justin missed it. Justin Duran missed pit road.
Oh no, shades of Kansas from last season. It costed him the championship potentially. Definitely cost him Rookie of the Year titles. And his first career win once again has escaped him potentially tonight. He got the commitment line, but he missed pit road. Thankfully he missed the barrels, but missed the entrance. Here comes Brett Bennett in. And David's going to make it this time, but he came in hot, locked the brakes up.
And Justin Duran making it this time by. David Duran staying out, leading the field as of right now. as he has stayed out. Alex Kerfin, Michael Krueger, Josh Coppernoll, the top 4, Dalton Kelly, Cameron Caldwell. They have yet to pull it down pit road. Now David slowing it up. It looks like Alex Kerfin's going to stay out. I think he's not wanting to touch pit road under green right now. He's having flashbacks to last year with what happened. But you see, Andrew Elias currently right behind the race leader. He's currently scored 13th, 2 laps down, so this would benefit him if he's able to get this. Looks like David Durand rolling down pit road there. Looks like we're going to see if Alex Kerfin comes his next time by. It looks like he is slowing up on the bottom. Can he make it to pit road? It's a troublesome thing to do, and no, he's not. He's going to miss it. Alex Kerfin misses pit road, so he'll have to go another lap, but the time he's going to lose there will be valuable. Michael Krueger still out there in second. Josh Coppernoll is third. Dalton Kelly still out in fourth. And Cameron Caldwell pulls it down pit road from the 5th spot. That leaves Noah Mary's the last truck on the lead lap to pit. And it looks like he's going to stay out for now. So we go back. Alex Kerfin going to try once more. This time he'll make it to pit road. Michael Krueger's going to slow it up as well, as is Josh Coppernoll. They're able to make it. And it looks like Dalton Kelly will stay out. So as they begin to cycle through, you see there, it looks like Gracias has a big advantage over Justin Durand. It looks like a massive advantage indeed. So a costly mistake there by the driver of the 5. Really going to cost him a lot of time. Is now Noah Mayuri, and you see Dalton Kelly looks like he's slowing to come to pit road, or at least he thought about it maybe, unless that's just Gracias being that much faster. Gracias now shooting by Dalton Kelly to unlap himself. Currently scored 4th. There's the 06 of Aaron Siciliano, currently running in, I believe he is a little bit further back. Siciliano is currently scored 18th. So Kelly is staying out. Noah Mayuri has stayed out as well. Alonso Chicano as well, but it looks like Mayuri is going through turns 1 and 2. Chicano's still staying out as well. There's Josh Coppernoll coming off pit road. So 3 drivers still yet to pit. Gracias, the first out off of pit road. He is currently on the lead lap. And we'll show you when they last came down pit road. Dalton Kelly, 63 laps. Noah Mayuri, 53. Alonso Chicano, 60. So it's definitely been a while since some of these guys have made it to pit road. But Gracias is closing in rapidly on Alonso Chicano. You can see him just up ahead, hunting down what would be 3rd place for this one truck.
Yeah, you can see the difference in 50-lap tires right there. And goodbye, Alonso.
He is 17 seconds back of the race leader, Dalton Kelly. Kelly continuing to lead. It looks like, I believe, the 42 Josh Coppernoll back on pit road. So as he pulls back down, Dalton Kelly continuing to lead the way. There's Justin Durand finally coming to unlap himself, but you'll see the damage that was done when he unlaps himself. He is 6 seconds behind Jason Gracias. So what would cycle through as 2nd place. Missing pit road is what's really going to haunt this 5 truck yet again. Just unable to get down and wobble it up to get on pit road. Looks like Gracias is now 2 seconds back and closing on Noah Mayuri, who's currently scored 2nd, has yet to pit. You can see way back in the background there's that one truck of Jason Gracias, who is continuing to just put down some fast lap times, hunting down 2nd place. Now Noah Mayuri, it looks like some trucks on pit road again. This race is coming close to an end. It looks like Dalton Kelly is on pit road finally. He couldn't go any longer. He'll pull it down pit road, and it looks like we'll see if the 8 truck comes down as well. Noah Mayuri instead will stay out, and that might just hand the lead over to Jason Gracias. Mayuri might lead this lap, but after that, Gracias is going to take over from here, so he'll shoot by this 8 truck. So Dalton Kelly stretches it all the way to about lap 169. He'll make his pit stop. We'll see how he cycles out. He'll cycle out about a lap down.
Oh, Jared Wilson missed pit road right in front of Jason Gracias.
And that's
and you
slow
see
it up, yeah. And I see some more smoke up ahead. That 83 missing it. There's a truck in the wall in the back, I believe. Couldn't tell you who that one was. Might have been Ryan Bogey. Indeed, it was. Getting the wall there on the exit of 4, but Gracias is doing everything he can to just get away from all the chaos as we come around to 30 laps to go.
Gracias did a great job a lap ago avoiding that 83 machine. Wilson just went onto the apron way too hot. He was trying to come down to pit. He's on really old tires, I believe, Dawson, and overcooked it. And we've seen a little bit different from what we saw. Guys just straight up missing the wall, but Wilson straight up missed the apron and slid right back onto the banking. Luckily, we didn't get a crash there.
Yeah,
But
it was close. The 83 just missing it right in front of the race leader. But Gracias is able to maintain a 3-second lead over Noah Mayuri, who is yet to pit, now getting passed by the number 5. That is Justin Durand, which, of course, missing pit road when he came to his pit stop. And that's ended up costing him the win pretty much, as now Gracias 3 seconds ahead of the 5 truck.
I wouldn't say it cost him the win yet. He has cut that deficit in half from when the pit cycle pretty much went through. Don't know if that's all from the checkup Gracias had a couple laps ago, but Justin Durand needs to keep his head down, not count himself out of it, especially if a caution comes out, because then anything can happen from that point on. He needs to know that his race is not over, and he needs to stay focused. He's only in second. I mean, he's still only in second place, Dawson. It's not like he threw it away completely, lost 2 or 3 laps. He's still in the game by every stretch of the imagination here.
So he has been faster the past couple laps, but it's not been exponentially. It's been just bit by bit, maybe a 10th, maybe a 100th. It's not been a lot, but lap traffic very well could be holding up this one truck a little bit more. As you see him get by the 98 of Jeremy Richmond now, up ahead of him, it's that 43 truck of Ethan Moreno. So we'll have to see what Gracias can do, can navigate through lap traffic. And yeah, you were saying that, yeah, Durand is still gaining. So, all hope is not lost yet, but with 25 laps to go this time by, it's going to take a lot to catch back up here.
Oh, absolutely. But these lappers may be the factor you mentioned. Some of these lappers, like Ethan Moreno here and Aaron Siciliano, who are many, many laps down, are not going to play a factor, or shouldn't, as they are not in the game. But someone like Jeremy Richmond, who put up a little bit of a fight against Gracias, he might, since he's tail end of the lead lap there, racing for a potential spot left in this race if we get on yellow like I was talking about before. So some of these guys, when they get caught by Gracias, are not going to play so nicely. Next truck to be caught will be Andrew Elias, who has no reason to pull over for Gracias, but may, for Justin Durand, who is not really racing for a position on track. Wants to stay in front of Gracias, of course, though.
The gap now, 2.5 seconds, now under 2.5 seconds. Justin Durand trying to cut into it more and more each lap. He's got, make it 23 laps to go this time by. Time is running out, and he really needs to get on the ball. Gracias, that time was just slightly slower. So we'll have to see how things shake out for this battle, for the lead, for the win. Justin Durand is just putting down some laps, but the issue is Gracias is doing the same thing, and that's what's helping him pull away. I see there trouble for the 5. The 8 got loose ahead of him. That's going to cost him some time. That's the 45 and the 8. Mayuri and Kelly, they have pit recently, so they're on fresher tires, so they shot by that 5 truck and are battling to get ahead of him. As you see that 8 getting so sideways just in front of him. So Noah Mayuri is hunting down, trying to get a lap back. Kelly's trying to get his lap back to put him on the lead lap. And Mayuri is trying to get back to being 1 lap down. And you see him bobbling there. He is all over the racetrack here. This 8 truck is doing everything he can to get around these trucks to go after the race leader to get his lap back. But that cost Durand a lot of time. He's now 3 seconds back of the race lead. If you're Jason Gracias, you got to just imagine you got to let this 8 and this 45 by. There's no reason to try to hold them up because all they're going to do is just hold you up as well. As you see the 8 go to the inside, he will shoot by. And now Dalton Kelly's going to be the next one to have to follow suit. 3 seconds the gap from the 1 to the 5. We got 19 laps remaining here at Dover. See the 89, Gary Sack. He's up to 22nd now after some of these trucks have left the race. He's been able to get some laps turned, and he's been able to get some extra spots. So any position matters, and they've been able to get some repairs done and get up to 22nd. Next position will be Josh Coppernell, who's 13 laps ahead of him. With time running out, you never know what's going to happen. Kelly to the back bumper of Gracia is trying to get his lap back to get back on the lead lap. He's going to push to the inside, and you'll see that one truck will let him go. And I'm seeing that Durand is way further off now. 3.2 seconds the gap. Make it 3.3 to he and Gracias, and it's still growing. Gracias still faster that time. Looks like just barely slower, actually, but it's not going to be enough. You know, he's going to have to gain tenths, if not almost, 5 tenths, I would say, each lap to see if he can even try to get in that same ballpark. This next time we cross the stripe, 15 laps to go here at Dover.
Just ahead of him, we saw Dalton Kelly get around Andrew Elias for the 8th position. Andrew's going to get caught here relatively fast by Jason. See how much of a fight he is able to put up for this lead lap position, if he is able to put one up at all here.
Just noticed too, Brett Bennett has found his way to third. Around the 24 of David Durand. He's been able to put up into the 3rd position. Michael Krueger up to 5th. Parker is now 6th. So definitely a lot of movement for positions back throughout the back half of the field. Right now, Jason Gracias leading the charge. 13 laps remaining here at the Monster Mile. Gracias looking for his 4th career win. Looking for his first win since all the way back in July of this year. Back in Season 2 at Phoenix. Of course, he had issues early on that wound up getting him sideways and messed up. You see him, Elias going to the bottom. It's going to make that one truck run the top lane to get around him. Not what Gracias wanted to see happen in front of him, but it's what's going to happen. He's going to get around the 44 and quickly put him a lap down. But something, you notice too when you look through Gracias' scorecard, a lot of those races he runs, he's dominant in. 134 of 200 at Iowa, 190 of 250 at Richmond. He led 98 of 150 at Phoenix, 187 of 250 at the other Richmond race that we ran. He has been a dominant driver. Every race that he goes and wins, he dominates. And this race was a little bit different, having to battle through the adversity of battling through the field, fighting back to the front, and through some cautions and through some pit cycles, he was able to get to 2nd, and he was able to put together the winning strategy to get to the lead and battle for this win. And now with 10 laps to go, still just over 3.5 seconds is the gap to 2nd place. Dalton Kelly's Superman run is starting to come to a close here. Running similar lap times to the rest of the field. Back in 8th. Not able to keep gaining as much time as he was there before. So we'll have to see where he'll shake out. Looks like it might just be 8th place for the 45 machine. Stretching it maybe just a little too long. And he'll cycle out to 8th.
If it's going to end up this way, Jonathan Poker, after that damage, only got up to P6. Still a resilient effort to get through the field. We talked to him on that stage break. He said he was going to have a fun time getting through the field. Unfortunately, don't think he saw that caution happening right in front of his lap. He had nowhere to go, so that derailed his night pretty quickly. But like I mentioned, still on pace for a top 10 performance, which is pretty impressive for the way his season has begun.
Oh, absolutely. He has had a phenomenal start to the season, a phenomenal run. And, the streaks can end it too. but it's not like it was, complete wash. He had a great run going, just had an incident happen right in front of him, fell into his lap, and after that, he has had to battle through, and now he's up to 6th on the doorstep of a top 5 if something happens to any of the top 5 runners, but outside of that, a 6th place finish, nothing to be ashamed of, especially after everything he had to go through this race.
Absolutely, and is going to maintain the point lead with a stage victory later tonight.
Looks like Gary Sack might have blew up there, coming around at 6 to go. So an engine issue for the 89 will finally end his run, and he's going to be a lap short of passing the 83 for 21st.
The only position he could have left to gain there, and that's going to be very bitter for him to run all these laps tonight. His night started on the wrong foot right on the get-go. He didn't even make the grid, if you remember, Dawson. So he was 1 lap down from the start, and he was on the back foot just trying to gain experience tonight and trying to get a result, and that's going to be a very bitter way to end it, I believe.
Yeah, not able to get up into the top 20. So close. It was right there. But right now, Jason Gracias, he's got a couple lappers ahead of him, but he's got a 4.5-second lead just about now. He could coast pretty much from here. He doesn't have to worry too much anymore. All he's got to do is just navigate 3 more laps here at Dover. Behind the 21 of Ryan Bogey. See some more trucks up ahead. I believe that's the 89 actually pulling off a pit road there. So he may get his 21st position. It looked like he might have pulled off. Indeed, he did. So he's going to try to go for that 21st spot. And I think he'll get it here, obviously, just completing another lap. There's 2 laps remaining. A 4.4-second gap. It would take an act of God for Jason Gracias to not win this race. It almost happened there. And really tight racing with that 88 of Christian Pacheco, the lap truck. I got a little worried there for a second. He was right there on his right rear, and it made me kind of worried, but he navigates through. White flag is out.
All good for Jason Gracias up front, sending the sails. 4th place has just changed hands. Michael Krueger gotten by David Duran for that position there, but all good up front for this man.
Coming through 3 and 4 to complete lap 200 and to finish the Mardon 200. Jason Gracias has found victory lane once again as he takes on Dover. Back Michael Krueger trying to hunt down Brett Bennett, that last late charge. He's not going to get it. That'll give Bennett 3rd and Krueger 4th. But it's Jason Gracias, your winner of the Mardon 200 here at Dover. Oh! Some contact there at the end of this one. So you'll see there. He earns his 4th career win in the In the Pits News Truck Series here at Dover. Not even going to do a burnout here. Going to automatically get out of the truck. Not going to give the fans what they want. But another win. And what I believe will wind up being his 8th career top 5 in 12 starts. Or actually his 9th career top 5, I believe. Only 3 races he's finished outside of the top 10. Yeah, actually, yeah, it is 8. It's 8 career top 5s. Math is not my strong suit here tonight. Jason Gracias wins at Dover. And what do you say we try and dial up our 3rd place finisher here, Adam? Let me see if I can get a hold of... Where is he here? Brett Bennett. Hey, Brett, this is Dawson up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep, I'm here.
Alrighty, a 3rd place finish today here at Dover. A great run. What more do you think you would have needed to try to go for the win there?
Well, I honestly don't think I had anything for Justin all day long, and then Jason caused a caution that basically handed the race to him. So I guess congrats on wrecking somebody to screw half the field for him. But still, I don't think they had more pace than me. I don't think I was going to challenge them. I'd gotten a little bit of right side damage. It might have been according to Brian, it was netcode, one of my teammates, but I don't know. I got to go with Cam on one of the straightaways. I don't know if I drifted up into him or if he just barely drifted down. It was just tight racing, and that hurt my speed, and I wasn't doing a great job managing the right front. So I'd probably had to manage that a little better to really have a chance at the win. But still, take the third. Great result for us. So.
Yeah, able to run up front throughout that race. A very strong run indeed for this 47 team. Third place finish on the podium today. Who do you want to shout out? What got it done here today for that Strictly Stats Ford F-150?
Well, obviously, I got to shout out Joseph Strigley, my sponsor, and Strigley Stats. All of SBLD, you, and the rest of JCTV, Josh, Adam, for the job y'all do. Dalton, Brian, we're both here tonight. And then Andrew, obviously. I know Andrew is not happy with Jason Gracias. I know that much. Rest of SBLD. Tyler Watermelon apparently couldn't make it tonight, which is unfortunate. We needed somebody to hit the pit barrels, but unfortunately we didn't get that. That's about it. Obviously, Toasty Danny, all of SBLD. Yeah.
Well, alrighty, congrats on the third place finish, Brett Bennett, bringing it home third for the SBLD 47 machine.
Yeah, thank you.
And with that, Adam, I believe you've got Justin Durand, our second place finisher.
Let's see if we can get him in here. I believe he's still up there with the team, so let's see if we can get a word with him real quick.
Possibly debriefing with the team there. Looks like he actually went down to the other team chat. They are currently having a discussion with Jason Gracias, I believe, the race winner. Looks like a conversation going on between the two of them. So we'll let them play that out instead. Let's see, Adam, can you get a hold of our fourth place finisher, Michael Krueger?
Hey, Michael, you got a copy?
Yeah, I'm here, Adam.
Well, fourth place finish, Mikey. Unfortunately, not the night you wanted. Kind of up and down race all around for you. How'd that last stint go for the 14 machine, and how'd you get back up to fourth?
Honestly, I mean, it was the last pit stop, really. I mean, I pitted with about 40 to go or so. I had about, I think, like roughly 10 lap or maybe a little bit earlier, fresher tires than a lot of the guys. I was driving pretty mad at that point because I got my strategy ruined early in the race, and I was just not happy at all. And I was just like driving pretty angry that whole like last stretch there, trying to get every spot. I thought I had a shot third place there if we had a few more laps, but we ran out of laps. I mean, not a bad, just salvaging the fourth there. Just frustrating of a night with the strategy.
Yeah, strategy was all over the place. You obviously were up front beginning of the race, and then we kept having the split decisions on the tire wear. Like you mentioned, how was the strategy from your point of view, the entire race in general?
Well, I kind of pulled a risky move on strategy with burning a set off at the stage for stage points, and then following the caution. Thought ended the stage. I pitted, and first one pitted. Then all the guys that pitted for tires didn't pit. I was surprised, and I had most track position on it, and I was driving a lot slower than a lot of people, trying to save my stuff up, and I felt like a lot of guys tonight were a little frustrated by it. And so after the stage, I had about 2 tire sets left, and I knew like my benchmark would have to be around the 100 to 150 lap range of when to pit. So that's basically what I based it off of, and that's basically what I did.
Right, well, thanks for taking time with us. Congrats again on a 4th place run. Real quick before we let you go, who would you like to shout out for a performance tonight?
I just want to thank Josh, really, my teammate Josh for tonight, for having me a part of PBR and just being my teammate. Kind of hated for him how his night ended, and yeah, a little disappointed by how the strategy went and just how messy that got there. But I mean, P4, we got stage points, so guess we'll just take that and go on to. I actually don't even know what the next track is, but we'll go on to wherever we go next on the schedule.
Watkins Glen. Well, talk to you
Oh,
next week.
great. Watkins Glen. Yay.
Thanks again for your time, Mike, and we'll talk to you next week, hopefully.
Yeah, thanks, Adam.
That's the 4th place finisher, Michael Krueger. Yeah, Dawson.
I was gonna say, you mentioned it, Watkins Glen next week, the Cameron Caldwell Invitational. Cameron Caldwell, of course, unbelievably good at road courses. In the Pits News Truck Series, I want to say he's undefeated, but at the same time, I could be definitely wrong about that. So I don't know if I want to say that, but let me just double check and see before I go running my mouth. Caldwell won the Roval. He's won both events at Watkins Glen. And I believe after that, the only other road, I think those are the 3 road courses we have run thus far in the Pits News Truck Series. So yeah, Cameron Caldwell 3 for 3. I'm going to look to extend the streak to 4 for 4 next week if he is racing with us still, of course, because you never know, scheduling, everything happens. But while we await our 2nd and 1st place finishers for interview, what do you say we talk to the man who runs the camp, Josh Coppernoll? He was able to bring it home. I believe it was 20th. Not a good outing there, Josh. What happened?
Yeah, not where we deserve to be at all. First of all, just so many trucks that just were, I don't know. Drivers behind them were probably needed a little bit more awareness, but we were doing good. That one caution that came out in the middle of pit strategy with Jason Gracias, that actually worked out into my strategy because I really didn't want to pit. I was just hoping for a caution. Came out, obviously, and we were running up front inside the top 10. And then, again, lap trucks happened, and just, I don't know. There was not a lot of patience going on, and just made it hard for me. But we started rebound a little bit, found a rhythm, and then pitting under green flag pit stops again, 2nd time around. Got back out on track, and I don't know what happened. I feel like I got arrow loose by somebody, and it made me go around, hit the wall. No caution came out as a result of it, but it definitely murdered my truck, and that's about the extent of that.
Yeah, Dan trapped 2 down and then wound up finishing 12 laps down. Just not really a bookmark night, obviously, for a banner night for the JCTV truck. But really bringing it home 20th. Definitely a struggle out there. And Josh, I believe I'm gonna cut you off because I think we have our 2nd and 1st place finishers at the ready here. So Adam, I believe you are with Justin.
Yeah, let's start up. Justin Durant here. Hey, Justin, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Unfortunately, another P2 run, Justin. You missed the pit road entrance there in the middle of the green flag pit stops. And then you were able to run down Jason for the race lead there a little bit, but it wasn't enough. What more did you need, if anything, to catch him in that long run to the end? And what were your opinions on the race? I've seen in the general chat a lot of opinions on the racecraft tonight from a lot of the drivers, including a few comments you've expressed yourself.
Well, I mean, after I blew pit road, there was no catching Jason. I mean, he pit a couple laps prior than me, so he had was going to gap me pretty good, and he is pretty good on the long run. So I had no shot there. I didn't want to caution because I had no sets left, so that would have screwed me even more. It's just like Kansas, you break the same time I did earlier. It just did not slow down. So it's, it hurts like hell because this is probably the first race that I probably had the best truck. So just threw away another win, another runner-up, but it's obviously the worst one. As far as the racecraft, I mean, I don't know what some of the guys out there were doing. If you're a lapper and you're not racing anybody, there's no reason to run the same line as the leaders. I don't know what they were thinking. So, I can't read their mind, but it's unfortunate. It was still fun race, very fast track. Just this sucks.
For sure, I absolutely understand your emotion here. But going back to the beginning of the race, there was a lot of different split decisions on the strategies. Did you feel caught off guard at any point in the race, especially when you were leading and early in the race, the opening stage, and some guys opted to take tires then?
No, I wasn't surprised by that. I knew a lot of the guys that were in the back, they got to do something different to get the track position, which is absolutely key here. So I knew they were going to come in, especially with stage points, stage wins, which, about half the field did. I still got a stage point of that, so I was surprised that I was not completely passed by half the field. I just felt the best decision was to not come in there. You needed the sets later in the race. That was more crucial. I mean, it was the right call strategy-wise. It's just, it didn't work out on my end, unfortunately.
Absolutely. And what about the rest of the race? We just talked to Krueger, and he was confused. He seemed like he was confused the entire race with the strategy situation.
Oh, it's one of the best races of the season for strategy-wise. There's so many different things you do, especially how with tire wear here. So some guys could put way earlier than you think they are. Some guys could stretch it out. Just, it throws of a lot of different variables in here. So it's a very fun track to run. It's not one of my favorites. Actually, I was very surprised how fast I was, but it was a good race overall. It's just, second place would be really, really good for a lot of people here in the lead or the league. But, just I mean, hopefully I get it one day, but I just can't blow it like I did.
For sure. Hopefully, we get to talk to you next weekend, Justin, and have a great race. I know it's not one of your strongest racetracks, but your time's coming, man.
I was gonna say, if you want to interview me, it's gonna be pre-race. It's absolutely not gonna be for results, because this is gonna be a drop week race.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have to talk to you at the KO Center next weekend.
I might put myself there, so we'll see.
Well, congrats again on the one. I know it's not what you wanted, but still good points well run, and hopefully you have a great outing next weekend, like I said.
All right, appreciate it.
That is a runner-up tonight. Unfortunate, Justin ran another P2 finish, but I believe Dawson, you are in victory lane with our race winner tonight.
Indeed, I am down here in victory lane. Jason Gracias, 4th career win in the In the Pits News Truck Series. What did it take to get it done here to find victory lane tonight?
If you read the chat, apparently it's wrecking somebody on purpose to get to victory lane. So I guess that's what it takes.
Well, yeah, I mean, can't go back, can't gloss past that one there. Obviously, the incident with the 88 truck that wound up bringing out the caution that kind of threw that pit cycle for a loop. What happened there?
If you guys go back and watch the last 10 laps, when I caught up to the 88, for whatever reason, he likes to put it on your door and not give you an inch of room. If you go back to lap 115 on the back straightaway, he gets into the wall and immediately turns left when there's a truck underneath of him, aka me, and gets loose. So I, as a nice guy, check up for him, let him gather it up, and then going into the next lap, I get a run on him. I take it, and what does he do? He tries to cut my nose off again. So I'm not going to keep giving him second chances. And everyone here is upset. They think that it was intentional, which it was not. This whole race, if you watch me, whenever somebody faster got to me, I let them go because I was trying to save my tire. So it's a shame. I was going to one stop it at the end. Would have been interesting to see how that played out, but unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. So I apologize for ruining other people's pit strategies, but that move was not intentional. In fact, it was more of the other driver's fault than my fault.
Yeah, indeed. But still though, victory lane, able to get it done and get the win. You make it work, and like I said, fourth career win. It's almost like a trend with you. You'll show up one race and you'll dominate and you'll win. The next race you'll dominate and something will happen to you, and it's kind of flip flop back and forth. But this one's a little bit different. This one was more so a struggle. You started back in, I believe, 20th place. At the start of this race, and you had to fight through the field to get to the front. What was that like this whole night? Trying to fight through traffic to get to the front.
Well, I screwed up my qualifying. Coming off of lap 1, I smacked the wall, and I didn't get the car stopped in time to start lap 2 fresh. So, unfortunately, I started in the back, but I actually like Dover. Dover's probably one of the tracks I'm actually very fast at. So, I was just minding my P's and Q's. So, again, I wanted that the race to go green at the end because when I got tired, according to Stint Analyzer, as we put more and more laps on the tires, I was picking up 1/10, 2/10 on the field. So, in terms of average pace, so I really wanted to go green to the end because I think that's when I would have gotten the lead towards the end of the race. But it was fun driving through traffic. Certain people I had fun racing with side by side for multiple laps. Some people I don't know how they race or why they want to put it in your door like it's the last lap, but I guess that's my fault for not racing as frequently as I should to learn other people's quirks and driving styles. So, but no, it was fun driving through the field. We'll see when where we go next and what my next race. I'll try to do it again.
Yeah, kind of sparse. You don't make as many starts throughout the season as others do, but when you do, you make an impact, and you did it again here tonight. Winding up a victory lane here with that number 1 truck. Anybody want to shout out teammates, sponsors? What got you to this point to put you in victory lane?
Yeah, just thanks to Vortex Racing, Cam Caldwell. Go see 2 Graphics. Check out his profile. The link's in the back of my truck. If you need paint scheme, hit up Cam. Don't hold my driving against going to Cam for paint schemes. He's a very good, talented graphical design artist. So if you need a paint scheme, hit up Cam. Thanks to you guys, JCTV, for the broadcast. Thanks to everyone who supports this Blazer sim racing league and the truck pits in the pits news. Mardon 200 for the race sponsorship. So overall, had a fun race. Well, I guess I'll see you guys next time. I mean, there's some angry people out there, and rightfully so. So I guess the only way I can make them unangry is to go race next week with them and not, run into the same person, I guess.
Alrighty, well, Jason Gracia is your winner here at the Mardon 200 here at Dover. Congrats again, Jason.
Thank you.
And with that leaves us here to reflect on our thoughts and everything we heard from the drivers. A lot of upset feelings, Adam. That's kind of what I gathered from a lot of those interviews.
Yeah, we saw it all night. A lot of hood emotion and angry drivers, and good to see a couple different sides of the story, of course, and different viewpoints. We saw it as it happened, Dawson, the way Christian Pacheco and Jason Gracias raced, and little did we know it would create so much controversy later in the race. The timing of that yellow, the way it fell in the pit strategy, a lot of angry drivers. Every side of the paddock just kind of upset the way that fell.
Yeah, and I think, everybody went through that race. A lot of issues, a lot of different drivers. We had a lot of guys angry at a lot of other guys. Fingers were being pointed and everything. But that's just the way it is, and I think that's just the way short track racing is. And Dover is a mile long. It's not really too much of a short track, but the Monster Mile, Miles the Monster has, I think, gotten into everybody's heads and really sent them astray there. But at the end of the day, The race is over. We move on to next week, hopefully at Watkins Glen, to see what happened. But Adam, you got your pick right today. You picked that #1 truck, and he put it in victory lane. How about that one?
Yeah, it's about time. No, I really didn't think it was going to be Jason's night tonight. I thought he was going to have another experimental night learning the truck yet again and just trying to learn the league again and just, like he said at the end of the interview, learn everyone's driving style. But it took a little bit of luck with that caution, but he definitely had the speed to show for it. Just really, really fast all night. He was able to split up through the field and got lucky, a little bit lucky with Justin Duran's mistake, but he executed when it mattered most.
Yeah, sometimes what it takes is a little bit of luck on your side, but at the end of the day, he found his way to victory lane. So, and a little fun nugget here, actually, from Josh. Adam was correct at Dover last season too, picking Michael Krueger. So, Adam is 2 for 2. So, I think the Adam Kuhn Dover Motor Speedway connection might be strong here. 2 for 2, picking the race winner. But other than that, that will do it for us here tonight, here in the Pits News Truck Series. We have completed the Mardon 200 at Dover. Coming up next week, we will be heading to New York. Watkins Glen, turning right and left. Watkins Glen is one of my favorite road courses. It is a fantastic facility, and it puts on great racing all the time. So I'm super excited for that one. I will not be with us here for that next race. I believe that will fall into the hands of somebody else, perhaps maybe Bennett Allen making an appearance in the booth again. Josh?
I believe so. I won't be available either. So hopefully Bennett Allen is available. Otherwise, we'll definitely figure out something there for Watkins Glen.
We'll work a little magic. But that's all you can do here. But that will do it for tonight. Like I said, next week we run to Watkins Glen. Same place, same time, JCTV, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we have some other fantastic racing. If you don't want to just watch the Pits News Truck Series and you want to branch out a little more, Tuesday night we have the Slide Job Racing League. Josh, you got the schedule. Where do we go next? Richmond.
I believe it is Richmond. Yes, 200 laps around Richmond.
I've gone through this so many times. I don't know where we're going, but I believe it's Richmond. So we'll be going to Richmond for the Slide Job Racing League, the Next Gen Cup cars. Some of the guys you saw race here tonight, you'll see them appear as well. Noah Mary, Zach Probst race in that league. And we saw, Dalton Kelly has popped over there. So is Michael Krueger, Brett Bennett. Brian Smith, I believe, has made a start as well. So we'll see some of those guys kind of popping over. You'll see them kind of bounce around here throughout the different leagues that run here. But other than that, that will do it for us here. That is a wrap on the Mardon 200 at Dover. An exciting race leading to a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of angry drivers. And at the end of the day, it's Jason Gracias taking home his 4th career win in the Pits News Truck Series. For all of us at JCTV, or Dawson Allen signing off with Adam Kuhn and Josh Coppernoll saying so long and have a great rest of your night.